This is the best pap I've ever tested all my life, and I'm not even exaggerating. The good thing is that the process for its preparation is very seamless and straightforward. So I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process on how I was able to prepare this healthy weight gain pap from the scratch, which can be consumed by both babies and adults. So this right here is called guinea corn, and we're going to be using it for the preparation of this wonderful pap. The second on my list is the millet. So this white one right here is called millet. It's very much important for this our wonderful pap. I'm going to be mixing the two grains together for me to be able to wash them, and you're going to be needing a very generous amount of water for this. At this point, I'm going to be washing these two grains together. As you can see, the amount of dirt that is already emitting from this grain. So you're going to give it a very thorough wash. We're going to wash it as much as possible in order to eliminate both the chaff, the dirt, the stones, the sand, and every debris that is in the grain. This is the third ingredient we are going to be using, which is the yellow corn. You can actually use the white corn if that is what is available for you. At this point, I'm going to be mixing all the ingredients together to give it a final wash. After washing it, make sure that the water is as clean as this. You're going to be covering the buckets and then allowing it to rest overnight. This is the following day after I must have submerged my grain in the water, and this is how it looks like. So I'm gonna be draining out the water from the grain to give it another wash. So at this point, I'll be using my toner to wash it. I don't know the logic behind not using your bare hands to wash this grain at this point, because I'm gonna be using my toner to wash it this time around. So after that, I'm gonna be covering up the grain in this bucket again to leave it overnight. This is what it looks like the following day after I must have left it overnight. You can see the foamy lather on top of the water. That is how fermented the grain is already. So I'm going to be washing it out, and at this point, remember, the grain is going to have a little bit of a sour smell as a result of the fermentation. I'm giving it a very thorough wash to eliminate the bulk of the smell and the bulk of the dirt in the water. Be taking it to a local grinder to grind the grain. Okay, if you have a good engine at home or you have a good power blender at home, you can decide not to go to the commercial grinders, but I decide to take the grain to a commercial blender for a better result. We'll be needing this bag here, this muffling bag. We're going to be seeing what I'm going to use it to do later on in the video. So we're going to be using this chiffon material for the sieving of our already blended grains. So this is how this process is going to be occurring, because this process right here is going to take a little bit of your time. You're going to make sure you extract as much pap as you can from this blend. Use enough water for this process to extract as much mixture as possible. must have extracted as much pap as we can. We're going to be leaving it in the bucket for 8 hours or overnight for the pap to settle in the water. So we're going to be extracting the water from the pap itself, because beneath the bucket we have the pap and on top is the water. So we're going to be draining out the water from the pap to be left with our main ingredient, which is the pap, and it's already settled at the bottom of the bucket. This is what I would have done last night, but that didn't really occur to me. So early this morning, I brought this orange bowl there and placed my pap on top of it before placing my gallon of palm oil, for the weight to hasten the drying process. So I believe it's going to take a couple of some hours for the whole drying process to be completed, because I've already done a bulk of it overnight. For some people, they may decide not to go through this process. They may decide to use it wet, not completely dry like this. I'm doing this in a way for it to be more preserved and for it to last longer. If it is wet, that means you may not use it for a longer time. You just have to keep changing the water from time to time for it to remain fresh. I'm going to come back after some hours to check how far it has gone, and I'll reveal the result to you guys. I'm going to be showing you how to prepare this delicious and sumptuous pap for your baby or for your own personal consumption. So this is the pap we have right here in our plate. Pouring a little amount of water to dilute the pap. I'm going to be breaking this pap into the water, stir it until we are left with no lump. So we're going to be bringing our already boiled water and pouring it into this mixture. If you are preparing for the baby, we're going to be making the pap to be a little bit lighter, but if it is for an adult, it can be thicker. All depends on the way you want your own consistency to look like. You're going to be stirring until we are left with no lump. So continue stirring and stirring and stirring and stirring until we are sure that all the lumps in the pap has been eliminated. I'm going to be adding my baby milk, which I have already dissolved in the water. Okay, so this is the consistency I want my pap to have. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you got one or two from my video. And until I see you next time, bye.